Okay, so we're making picture frames today. Me and my wife decided to do this for our holiday gift. So I'm just ripping down some poplar that I had left over into the 1.5 inch thickness I need, and here over at with the router, I have a round over bit that we just gonna round over the edges, uh, so this way I can kind of create that nice like kind of picture frame look. So I'm just going to route all three of these pieces at once, so this way that they're exactly the same, um, in case I need to use multiple pieces for the picture frame for like one frame, so this way they all look the same. And didn't have a good way of clamping this down, so I had to move the clamps while routing it. So I'll get to a certain point, stop, and then move the clamp, so this way it wasn't in my way anymore. Definitely could have used a router table, yeah, but that's a future purchase. All right, so I turned it over, and now we're gonna take out the little crease where the picture and frame. So I used a straight bit for that with a guide. Um, I didn't know it at the time. This one was giving me a lot of trouble going through. I think I was going through the grain the wrong way, maybe, or the bit was just not good. I'm just using some really cheap bits. I haven't done much routing, so I didn't want to buy really expensive bits. So I bought one of those like $30 kits off Amazon with all the different types of bits inside of it, so I can try out different bits and know kind of how they do and how they work, and then decide which ones I needed to buy expensive ones on. Uh, so I had set my depth um, to what I thought was pretty deep, but I did not factor in the thickness of the glass and pictures properly. So it ended up working out. I had just enough room, but definitely could have been a little bit deeper. And thank you to my wife for holding down the sawhorses. And of course, doing it this way creates a lot of sawdust if you can't tell. So a router table definitely would help minimize the amount of sawdust. But you can see my rabbet and then my round over. Um, I cut the round over a little bit deeper, just so this way I can get that nice ridge inside of it. And then now I'm here at the miter box to create my miters, and I created lines. So now this project was pretty much I was watching some YouTube videos on how to do this. I'll link the one that I watched that showed me how to create this auxiliary fence and the lines on the auxiliary fence for the measurements and stuff like that. The biggest thing about with the miter table was making sure that your miter angles are cut right. So it took some time doing that. So now I'm just cleaning up the edges before I glue it up. I really wish that I took the time to not just clean up the edges, but to clean up the whole thing while they were unglued, because it was a little bit harder to do some of the rough sanding while it was all glued together. But that's a lesson learned for another day. I saw this trick inside that video where he used blue tape to kind of get it all together, and then he used the web clamp to glue it to hold it together. So I gave that a shot. It was a little weird because with my round over being down, like the pieces didn't want to stay up. So I had to really just like manhandle them for a while and get the blue tape on there just right. And then here's the web clamp that I had to buy for this project. So it's always nice when you convince your wife to do a Christmas gift that requires you to buy some tools. So I got a nice new web clamp out of this project, which was really exciting. And yeah, the web clamp just holds it really tight. You can see that it just applies equal pressure on each corner into those miters. Okay, so now that it's all glued up and dried, I tried doing some more rough sanding of getting some of the bigger burrs off. So I didn't want to use the orbital sander on the round over part because I knew it would flatten it out. So I did those by hand. And then for all the other parts, I did the orbital sander. And I made multiple frames. So I made 4 frames in total. So they're all at different stages of finishing. So I did one to completion to kind of see how that would work, and then now I'm working on two, and I think the third one at this point was already glued and is drying. I only had one web clamp, so I kind of had to glue them all separately. So with the orbital sand though, I spent a lot of times on the corners because my miters didn't line up 100%, and the thickness of the wood wasn't 100% the same, it looks like, or they just didn't glue the same. So I used the sander to really smooth all that out. And I said I wasn't going to touch the roundovers with the orbital sander, but I decided to. And this one, it kind of killed some of those, so I made sure I did do it on some of the other ones. All in all, this was a pretty fun project, and I think a pretty good Christmas gift that we gave out to our family. And just, yeah, I think I'd make them again. Probably would make them out of different wood. The poplar is what we had laying around the shop because we didn't have much time with the virus and everything, coronavirus outbreak, that we didn't have time to really go buy some wood or anything like that. And so now I'm just gonna give them a stain. I believe I used Danish Oil Dark Walnut for the stain. It's a wipe-on stain, one-step finish. So I applied one really good coat onto all of them, and then I lasered them after that. And then after, I just kind of cleaned them up with some light sanding, and any spots that might have been missed or got stain got kind of removed from the light sanding after, I just kind of touched up after. And here we go with the stain. I think it came out really nice. My wife really liked it. Um, she picked out, I had like three different stains, and she picked out that one. So now we're here at the laser, and all we did was something simple. We lasered Merry Christmas at the top, 2020 at the bottom. So with this, I have a K40 laser, and it was a struggle getting the picture frame because we did 8x10 picture frames into the bed of the laser. It barely fit. I'm touching the back wall on this, so I had to remove the laser bed because of the thickness of the frame, and I just kind of shimmed it up with some 2x4s and a piece of MDF I had laying around to kind of fit and just hold it. Um, I don't know if I got it in the shot, but I lasered kind of an L into the MDF, so this way I knew what was perpendicular to the laser, and when I set the frame in, I kind of knew that the frame was straight, and the Merry Christmas would come out straight on the frame too. I like putting blue tape down on it, and so this way I don't get too much burn in on the frame itself and some of the soot and ash on it. And then here's where I'm lasering 2020 with two snowflakes, and I tried recording this 3 times. I had 3 frames, and just like the year of 2020, every single time failed. So the video cuts out here. The first time my wife called me, killed the video. The second time, I videotaped it. It was upside down. The third time, the app crashed. I was like, all right, that's it. That's all I got. So now we're inside the house and we're assembling our Christmas gifts. So I got some real thin acrylic, and we just slide in. We cut the some not cardboard poster board, black poster board as the backer, and we slid in the acrylic, and then slid in the picture, and slid in the cardboard, and I just used the step I missed was I used brad nails to kind of hold everything in, and I found some picture frame saw teeth hook that I just nailed in. There we go. And here's a beautiful picture of my daughter that we put inside the frame. Thank you everyone for watching, and Happy New Year's.